Hello guys, and welcome to my Outlaw Rogue guide for Antorus the Burning Throne. My name is Squiggle, I've been playing Rogue for the whole of Legion, and I wanted to tell you guys why I'm taking a liking to Outlaw Rogue in Antorus the Burning Throne. Now, the spec is very fun in my opinion, especially if you compare it to Assassination or even Subtlety Rogue at times, and I think it's just a element of gameplay that a lot of people aren't exposing themselves to, since Outlaw is a little bit underpowered in the Tomb of Sargeras. So while recording this, it's about 5 hours until Antorus is going to be released onto live servers, and as shown by the simulations, we can see that Outlaw has the potential to be an amazing class compared to the other rogues for single target DPS. Now, this does assume that you get good RNG. However, on a lot of pools you can sort of fall behind or you can really skyrocket ahead. In my opinion, this does cause frustration. However, if you do have good RNG, it makes the class a lot more fun to play, and you'll see why later in the video. Right now, there are two main ways to play Outlaw Rogue, and the way that I'm going to be describing first is the ring method. Now, the ring method involves running the Slice and Dice talent, as well as Ghostly Strike for single target, or Swordmaster for 2 to 3 plus targets. Using this legendary setup results in very consistent damage, as well as high attack speed and pretty high energy regen, so it's not unviable by any means. Whereas the second method that I want to go over today involves running the legendary ring and the legendary shoulders like before. Instead of running the Ghostly Strike and the Swordmaster, we want to be running Quick Draw at all times with this legendary setup to make use of the Greenskin's Waterlogged Wrist Cuffs proc. And then we want to be running Marked for Death, of course, because we're going to be rolling the bones a lot more to try fish for the right buffs. Other noteworthy talents to run if you're new to Outlaw or even Rogue as a whole is Cheat Death compared to Elusiveness compared to Iron Stomach. Iron Stomach is probably going to be your best for soloing. Elusiveness is probably going to be your best for overall raid mitigation damage. Whereas Cheat Death is going to be what you take most of the time, just to make sure that you can stay alive during mechanics that would otherwise kill you. For example, if you had to soak on Kill Jaden last tier. On top of this, Grappling Hook gives you some mobility, whereas Acrobatic Strikes allows you to strike the boss from 3 yards further, which can be pretty helpful at times. Next up, I'm going to show you guys a simulation based off my own character at roughly 937 to 940 item level. Now, for the risks, you're going to be wanting a set amount of haste. I'm not quite sure what this haste cap is, but essentially what it's trying to do is make use of your rerolls and allow you to get your adrenaline rush off cooldown quicker by using more combo points. After this, you're going to want roughly equal amounts of versatility and agility. This is going to change the more ranks you get in your weapon. And then after that, you're going to go for Critical Strike, and then you're going to go for Mastery. Just a quick reminder that this spec is going to have some crazy swing on it. It's going to have pools where you might be simulated at 1.1 mil DPS, or you'll be maybe doing 1.5 to 1.6 mil DPS. So if at first you're not getting the numbers that you want, maybe you just need to sweeten up your rotation a little bit, or just keep on trying for more buffs. It's really hit or miss. The second setup that we're going to be running with the insignia of the Ravenholt is going to actually prioritize a lot more versatility in the build, since you get so much haste given from the Slice and Dice proc itself. After this, you're going to want to go for agility, a good amount of haste. You don't need to go all out with this. Crit might end up overtaking it later. Then you're going to want to go with crit into mastery. Now, crit and mastery are very close together. Doesn't matter too much, just chuck it into pawn and see what happens. So next we're going to get onto the trinkets that we want to be running. For pure single target damage, the trinkets that we're going to be using include the Golgoneth's Vitality, hopefully at 1000 item level, or the Seeping Scourge Wing. On top of this, it can be noted that the Convergence of Fates is still very close to these, especially if you have a nice 905 one. However, if there is more than one target present at all times, it might be worth considering one of the other trinkets, especially the AoE ones, such as these two. Now, onto, in my opinion, the funnest part. This is going to be the rotation with the wrists. Now, the rotation does change quite a bit. First off, you're going to start off with your Marked for Death. You're going to start this when the pull time is called, be it 10, 15, or 20 seconds. Now, roughly 2 to 3 seconds before you pull the boss, you want to be able to roll the bones. Now, this is going to give you the time to react to what you just rolled. For example, if you roll it too quickly, you get a 6 buff and you end up throwing it away, you're gonna hate your life, right? It's gonna be the worst thing ever. That's what we're playing for, guys, just getting those 4, 5s, and 6 buffs. Then we're gonna pop our Curse of the Dreadblades, followed by a macro with Ambush and Adrenaline Rush. This will allow you to efficiently use these 3 cooldowns at roughly the same time and maximize your DPS output. Because of the loaded dice talent here, we then want to use our Roll the Bones again if we only got 1 buff. Now this is going to allow us to get a guaranteed 2 buff since we just use our Adrenaline Rush. After this, we want to use a Saber Slash into a Between the Eyes into a Pistol Shot. Now what this is going to allow us to do is to get the critical strike bonus on our Between the Eyes since we have Mantle of the Master Assassin up. Once the Mantle buff expires, we want to just use our Vanish straight off the bat and keep on with our rotation as per usual. And make sure that your Marked for Death is always on cooldown so that you don't lose any free combo points. When we are into our actual rotation, we want to be able to get these Blunderbuss procs. Now once we get one of these Blunderbuss procs, instead of using Run Through at 6 combo points, we're going to want to use our Between the Eyes followed up by the Blunderbuss. Now you might be able to see some synergy between our legendary wrists and shoulders. As for the Slice and Dice build, we're going to be using the exact same opener, however we aren't going to worry about this combo at all. So this is going to be our wrist opener. I'm going to use my Marked for Death straight off the bat, going to wait a little bit of time, get into my stealth, and then I'm going to roll the dice. Now I'm going to get a single buff. This is not what we want. We're going to start with our rotation. Now we're going to roll again. We're going to get a pretty good roll. We're going to use that, and then we're going to get the Vanish proc. Now we're just going to try get as many GCDs off in this stealth window as possible, and then just start going ham. As for the Slice and Dice build, we want to be able to get a 54-second Slice and Dice, so the rotation is going to go as follows. As we can see here, this is going to give us the really good Slice and Dice using the Pandemic timer, and it's going to make our Slice and Dice last really long. Of course, we're going to use the Pandemic timer for our Ghostly Strike as well to make sure that it's up at all times. And that just about sums it up for my Outlaw Rogue video. If you have any questions, I know I didn't cover everything in this video. If I were to talk about this spec all day, this video would be hours and hours, and I'm sure none of you guys want that. So if you want to be rocking these sick Thunder Fury weapons and doing pretty good DPS while having fun, make sure to check this spec out. It's really fun, it's really good. I think it's going to be really good with the new tier bonus. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you enjoy Antorus the Burning Throne. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.